Yeah, hold the onions on mine. Tell them hold the onions. Yeah, right, hold the onions, as in no onions. No onions on my hot fudge sundae. Thanks. Oh, hello, good morning, and welcome once again to the Library of Horror Hotel, where it's time now for Creepy Cheapies with Dr. Lady. I'm Charles-Pierre Baudelaire, and well, something a little different today. You know, I always tell you about these masks, and I have very firm opinions of what I like and what I don't like. This one has one aspect about which I can't make up my mind. And you know, you'd think a guy that ran all those haunted houses all those years and had this many masks would know something about makeup, but not enough to make up my mind about one aspect of this particular mask. And with that in mind, I am asking you for your input, because I think it will be interesting to hear from you guys and girls. Oh wait, what's that? I'm being told there are no girls who watch Creepy Cheapies. I'm also being told there's not really anything in my ear. Where were we? Yes, Michael Myers, you know, he's the bad guy from the Halloween movies, in case you're new around here. Mike wears a slightly different mask in every movie. It's always similar. It's always kind of, sort of the same looking, but it's always a different sculpture in, you know, the various sequels and remakes and follow-ups and things. It's always similar. It always looks a little bit like William Shatner, a little bit like William Shatner in most of the movies, sort of, most of the time. Which is to say, it never looks completely different. You know, he never wore one that looked like Stan Laurel, because that would be New Year's Evil. And he never wore one that looked like Richard Nixon, because that would be Horror House on Highway 5. And he never wore one that looked like a Don Post Mr. Cool / pirate / chic, because that would be Nightmares in a Damaged Brain, also known as simply Nightmare. And he never wore one that looked like a box of Cheez-Its, because that would be stupid. But anyway, this particular mask happens to be one that when I first heard about it, that they were coming out with it, I thought, not that exciting, because it's not one of my favorite masks from the Michael Myers movies. But when I saw it in person, I was like, yeah, I'm sold. And what am I talking about? It's this guy right here. This little rascal is Michael Myers from Halloween 4, officially known as the Halloween 4 Michael Myers mask, or the Michael Myers Halloween 4 mask, or the H4, just for short. Now, why am I saying that, like the H4, like it's a different name or something? It's not real important. It's just, well, if you wanted to read up on this mask or this movie or this design, you want to look up pictures online or something, or read up about it and find out what other people say about it. If you just enter H4 in your search, you won't find as much as if you type in Halloween 4 Michael Myers images or something. Spell it all out, and then you'll find more about it. But if you're among hardcore fans, well, not hardcore fans, don't listen to them, extremely knowledgeable fans of the Halloween series, if you're among those guys, they might refer to this mask as an H4. So if a collector says something about an H4, he's talking about this mask, the one from Halloween 4. Unless, of course, he used it in the context of, watch Dr. Lady, what the H4? That would be an entirely different meaning, and we're not going to get into that. But Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, is the inspiration for this particular mask, which came out in the 2018-19 season from the folks at Trick or Treat Studios. And as you probably know, there have been about 38,000 Michael Myers masks over the years. And again, this wasn't that exciting to me when I heard they were doing this one. But then when I saw it, man, I have to tell you, it looks just like what I see in that movie. I have not done anything to this. This is right out of the bag. The hair has kind of a variance to the color, which I like. I think that'll show up on your monitor, but it's sort of smudged with a darker dye over top of lighter hair, and it really looks a lot like in the movie. It has the black mesh netting, the fabric in the eye holes, much like the Scream masks, things like that, so that people can't see your eyes, because in the movie, when you see him wearing this, you don't see anyone's eyes inside it. You just see this mask. Now, I think there's very little to complain about here. At the risk of being a bad collector, because I'm not doing enough complaining, I have to tell you, this thing is very close to what I see when I look at the movie and the stills from the movie. Very, it looks just like it. It's got just the right amount of texturing. The only things that you might feel like it's a case of seasoned to taste, as I call it, the hairline might be different on one copy from the next. And I think people forget that these things don't come like cranked out of a great big iron machine like a printing press or something. They all have to be finished by hand, even the ones that we think of as factory or production line masks. Somebody has to stand there and put hair on it, put paint on it, etc. Actually, they probably sit there, don't they? I'm probably the only guy who stands up all the time when I work on masks. I do. I stand up the whole time I work. I don't know why. I feel like I can move around more. I think that's it. You know, you're less locked into one spot when you're standing. You can kind of walk around it. Never mind. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Michael. Now, this particular Michael has some smudges. Now, that's another thing, along with the hairline. I saw, I think, 3 of these, and I chose this one of the 3. Just because the hairline was kind of symmetrical, and I like it that way. On the others, it was a little more wonky, like toward the left or right. I think this one, having it even, to me, looks more like what I see in the movie. But the big issue with this guy, the placement of the smudges is going to vary a little from mask to mask. But I'm pleased that somebody is manufacturing Michael Myers masks today and putting smudges on them, because for a long time, mass-produced versions of Michael Myers Halloween masks were just either cast in white rubber, no detail at all, or were just painted solid white with no detail. But when you look at the movie, the mask always looks a little bit dirty and used and worn, and I like it that there's a little bit of gray smudge on the tip of his nose, and his lip looks a little dirty, and there's a little smudge on his cheek. That's going to vary from mask to mask, but it also varies from shot to shot in the movie. But the big deal about this guy is this thing right here. You see that line? This is where I asked for your input, like I mentioned a couple of hours ago. This is where I asked for your input. You see that line around the bottom? Alright, now that's like an extension that's put on there. This is where the mask logically would end. Let me bend this up there. You see that? See it right there? This whole bottom piece, this is sort of an extra piece. Now, what I'm having trouble deciding is whether or not I want to leave that on there. Why do I say that?
Yeah, why do you say that?
Okay. In the movie, Michael Myers steals the mask from a store, and you get a good look at the mask in the store when his hand comes in and grabs it, and it clearly does not have a front flap that hangs down like this. It's just straight where this line is right here. It's just like that in the movie. So then you think, well, why is that on there then? The mask must be wrong, huh? Must be a mistake in the manufacturer. No, they put it on there on purpose because in Halloween 4, he's wearing a suit with a little collar that can be turned up. And in some of the movies, he wears the mask over the collar, so you see the bottom of the mask. But in H4, he's got the collar sort of turned up and the mask tucked into it. And you can see in the shots where he's wearing the mask and the costume that the white goes down farther than the bottom of where this mask is logically cut off. Now that's a cheat on the part of the movie. But if you want to have it on display on a shelf, you might want to cut that off and just have it straight across the bottom, and then it looks more like the mask that he steals out of the store. But if you're going to wear it with your blue jumpsuit, you might want to have it on there because then the white continues down just a little bit further into the collar. Now, since this is on here, you might think, oh, now that he's told me that, I think we have to leave it on there because it's more accurate, because the one in the movie had more. But the thing is, the one in the movie, supposedly, and I wasn't there when they were making the movie, but I've heard, I've been told, legend has it, that the one in the movie came down quite a bit farther than this and had things that held it in place clear out to the shoulders and under his arms and stuff. The actor who played Michael, that is. Because he has to do some stunt work in the movie. He jumps onto the back of a truck and he fights with guys and things happen. And, you know, in real life, the mask could come off or get twisted around or something that would either look bad or spoil the vision of the guy wearing it or something. So in the movies, the magic of the movies, they have it fastened underneath his arms and going out to his shoulders and stuff. And then the jumpsuit covers it. But when you watch the movie, you think he just grabs the mask and pulls it on, and there it is. So, my question is, do we leave this on here and have the mask as it was meant to be marketed by Trick or Treat Studios, who you know, kudos to them for thinking about that kind of minutia, because for many years, those of us who noticed that kind of thing were just thought to be completely insane. And we probably are, but it's nice to be pandered to like that, you know. They thought about this and they thought of putting that on there, and that's cool. But it looks less like a Michael Myers traditional mask with that on there, and it would look more like a traditional Michael Myers mask with that cut off. And another issue is that thanks to poor continuity, which Halloween 4 is full of, it's very problematic in Halloween 4, thanks to the poor continuity, when you see him grab the mask, it's also clearly the eyes are trimmed differently and everything from the mask he is later wearing. So it's kind of hard to, you know, put all that together in your mind and come up with a logical fusion that captures everything that is the essence of Michael from Halloween 4. In one scene, in fact, I think it was in the school. Oh, somebody'll. People are going to be so mad at me if I'm wrong about this. I think it was inside the school, I think. And Michael attacked Loomis briefly, and you just saw him for just, you know, 2 seconds. But he was clearly wearing a different mask altogether that had lighter colored hair and smaller eye cuts and was kind of a shiny color. I think he was wearing Ben Tramer's mask from Part 2. Actually, you know what? Now I finally have it figured out. That was actually Ben Tramer in the school attacking Dr. Loomis, because it's Loomis's fault he got run over and killed by a car in Halloween 2. So that wasn't even Michael Myers in the school. That was Ben Tramer's ghost attacking Loomis for revenge on what am I talking about? Some of you guys know. The rest have most certainly turned us off by now. But anyway, leave me your input, and I don't know how to do a poll. We can't do thumbs up or thumbs down because that's not specific enough, but we'll try to set up some sort of a poll here with this, and you can tell me, should I cut this off and have the display mask just look like a Michael Myers mask that's flat across the bottom, or should I leave that thing on below that line there and have it the way Trick or Treat is selling it? In any case, this is a heck of a nice horror film memorabilia prop replica, and the fact that you can get one for around 60 bucks, that's what these sell for, $65, pretty cool, pretty great to have something that looks this much like the real mask used in Halloween 4 for such a low price as 60 bucks. So I like it very much overall. Just can't decide whether I like that thing on there or not. So you guys will have to tell me what you think about that. And girls, if there are any. And apart from that, well, I guess if you're hung up on the exact shape and placement of the tiny little gray smudges of dirt on him, here's what you do is, and this is why you have a credit card, by the way, you order 600 of these, okay, order up 600 of them, and then when they arrive, you go through them all and look at the little tiny gray smudges of dirt on each one, and you pick the one you like the best and send the other 599 back. It's just that easy. That's right. But I gotta warn you, they will learn to hate you on Amazon.